Right guys, Mark Crossfield here. In my hands today I'm hitting the Ping iSeries irons up against the Callaway Apex CF Cup Face 16 iron. Let's give these two kind of middle of the range, slightly more players iron a test and show you what they could do for your golf game. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, so we've got 7 iron in the Apex, 6 iron in the iSeries Ping, so we're going to show you the contrast between the two irons. We've got GC2 HMT Titleist Pro V1X balls as well here on the floor, and I've also got Steve Buzzer's numbers on these two irons as well to compare with mine to show you how they might differ. So I've got full reviews on both of these clubs if you want to see a bit more of an in-depth of what they can and can't do. This is much more of a quick compare video. Apex, for me, it's got cup face design. They're saying CF16, trying to keep the ball speeds constant across the face is what they say. Nice big heel and toe weighting, bit of a cavity back, lots of weight down and off the face. Going to perform quite well in MOI. Loft a bit stronger because if you pack all that weight lower, generally it can launch up a little bit higher. So they're trying to even that out with loft, but then it does sacrifice a little bit of the spin. So will it stop the other end is the other big question you have to ask yourself. Ping iSeries, very true to what Ping bring. You've got a little bit of weight slightly off the face down in this undercut cavity. Very Ping in its performance, which I actually really like. Both of these two clubs have a very similar top line. The Ping's blade length is slightly longer, which does make that Apex very appealing to me, having that little bit more of a squat head. Similar amounts of offset on both. So let's start with the Ping iSeries. You get some very clever ideas with swing weights in these clubs as well, and you also get the very nice obviously Ping kind of standard of build and custom fitting expertise. You know, you get, not you do with both of them really, but it's very, you know, these guys pioneered the custom fit model, very easy to fit, and lots of fitting centers around the country as well. So let's give the Ping iSeries a hit. I like the look of the kind of duller grey finish, little bit of offset, and I like the little white line at the bottom as well. Feels very nice off the face. I caught that slightly near the bottom groove, but it's still flowing pretty nice. You've got to remember there's plenty of weight down at the bottom of this club to help me on those slightly clean hits, where at the same time is delivering traditional Ping looks, but in a more kind of, certainly nowhere near as chunky as a Ping can sometimes get. Let's give this one another hit. Yeah, it feels very nice. It makes a really nice sound off the face, this one as well. It does feel, it's quite a unique sound, I think, the iron of the Ping sound. It's not like others. I like it. It's not soft feeling. These are cast clubs where the other ones are forged, but it's going to be so much more in that acoustic that makes you feel like it's softer or not. I'm going to hit one more with a Ping. I could absolutely game these. Yeah, it feels really nice, and it does feel very solid. Yeah, it's a good looking kind of all-round golf club. You could be a very, very low handicapper, even down to your kind of Lee Westwood standards would game those, up to a beginner, to be honest. So cup face design, Callaway Apex. A little bit more jazz going on, a little bit more chat almost, which you do get with lots of these companies. I do like the squat design head of this, not so long blade length. Out of the two, it does just look that little bit better to me. It's certainly louder off the face, even though it's a forged club. I mean, what forged actually means in this day and age, I think, is an interesting question for many. It means so much to so many people, but you know, this sounds quite loud and big, and its statements are quite loud and big, and its lofts are quite kind of loud and big and jacked up a bit. You know, they're trying to squeeze distance out of this kind of gaming package, which they do. Absolutely as well. I mean, I could so easily bag this. I think out of the two on looks, I would go with the Apex, and I'm a Ping fan, to be honest. I do like the looks of their clubs, but the slightly bit more chunky, and then that little squat less length in the blade length for me really does make me like the look of that one. Let's check the numbers out, and like I said, we've got Steve's numbers as well, just to show you how these two are going for maybe two different swing speeds. Right, so these numbers to start us off. So Apex going 186 yards. That's a 7 iron in the Apex. The 6 iron in the Ping going 184. As soon as you pack that weight really low for Steve, give him that little bit more launch, fraction more height, and certainly that less spin with his speed, he gets a lot of distance out of it. If we take that into the Ping iSeries, it's 6.5 spinning, so it's almost 600 revs spinning more. That's going to slow the ball up in the air a little bit more if you like. 184, so going the 6 and the 7 for Steve, they're almost going exactly the same distance, launching a fraction lower, if not almost the same peak height. Interesting numbers there when you give Steve's speed into that, how he does really benefit on the distance when you pack that weight lower, but he probably won't go for that if he was to pick out of the two. He would want something a little bit more controlling. Let's check out what he had to say about them. Right, Steve, so you've been hitting Callaway Apex with me as well, and then you've also hit the Ping iSeries. What are your thoughts, Captain?
The Ping one looks very much like a Ping product. They keep that really nice toe line. So I like the look of it. It's a fraction too big for me. Although they're both like really easy to hit, I actually like the compact nature of this. Just looks a bit bigger. When they were doing their smaller versions, I really prefer. Again, it's the same sort of profile, just a little bit smaller. Okay. Both of them went absolutely fine. Yeah. Both wouldn't be the ones that I would use, because I would use something else in the product lineup, something a bit more playable. Yeah.
Because the Apex was a bit rocket-like for you, wasn't it?
This one's again on the driving range. This is the club I would use, and I would enjoy hitting it. Would be the happiest boy in school.
But on a gaming
on a gaming basis, it's just a bit too powerful for me.
Which lots of people will struggle to understand what you mean with that, because obviously distance is such a buzzword out there, isn't it, in golf equipment? But for you, you're looking for your irons to go a particular distance.
Definitely.
And you're finding that one, with its spin model and its launch, can just come off like a rocket. Where if you go more, you call it like playable ones, like the Apex Forged version. Yes. And you're actually talking about, like, if you prefer like the Ping S55.
Yeah, the S55 is the one I was thinking of. Yeah. And again, it looks the same, it's just a slightly smaller profile.
You like less help, basically, don't you?
I need less help. You need help, but
you like less help.
I like help, but I like to think I'm doing a little bit of the work. I find with sort of these ones is if like the pin's at the back and I need a couple more yards, if I try and put that really big swing on, 10, 20, drop the spin off, I will hit a 9-iron, which I'm trying to hit 150. Let's gain 5 more, I end up hitting it 180.
So if you take R2 games, for example, these are the kind of irons where I get more out of them.
Definitely.
Because I do want my irons to keep, my irons will always, I never fly greens, I'm always going the right distance to dropping short, and I drop short less with these. Quality of strike is different for us too. I'd say you strike your irons better, and you've got more power in you. Yeah. Where I'm looking for that club to do it for me. So where they don't work for you, we'll look at my numbers in a second.
And it's a good example of when you're getting fit. Is don't just do it on raw distance with your 6-iron. It's thinking what will happen across the set. Yeah. How will my dispersion be affected?
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Right, if we look at my numbers then, 166 with the Apex 7-iron, so that's kind of at the top end of my 7-iron distance, powerful, and then the iSeries kind of 170 averaging at 168, kind of right in the middle of my 6-iron bracket. Again, those kind of slightly stronger lofts, that slightly different design in where they put the CG placement for me is making a big difference. And again, if you start taking the spin off it, which you do on the Apex iron here, as soon as you take that spin off, it just keeps going through the air. So again, the big question for me is, would I want to take that spin off? Can I stop it the other end? Which I'd have to take on the course and play for a season or so to judge with that. I have played with strong lofted irons that take the spin off, and I like it, but sometimes I do want a little bit more spin when the ball lands. Interesting numbers. Out of those two on the numbers, I think I would go for the slightly stronger one. I'm very easily seduced by a little bit more distance in my irons, because I tend to not be the strongest iron player in the world for distance. Even though out of those two, it'd be hard. I mean, on the looks, Callaway just slightly pips it for me. But two very good clubs. I think you need to go and try them for yourself and see which one you like the look of out of the two, because they are slightly different in their kind of looks. Ping very traditional, and also if you're putting enough power in there, are the Apex is just going to go too far like they did for Steve? That's always an interesting question for lots of people, I think. Go and try them. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more videos. Find me on Instagram at Crossfield Mark, also on Twitter at 4golfonline. Find me on Facebook, Mark Crossfield. Thanks for watching. Post comments as always, and see you soon.